Hey guys, welcome back to Ollie Talks Airsoft, where today we are talking about Glocks and Glock pattern pistols. Now, we're just going to get straight on with this. So most people in Airsoft will have used a Glock or they'll know of Glocks. And the one thing that everyone pretty much knows is that Tokyo Marui were the first people to come out with a gas bowback Glock with their Glock 26 back in the day. And there have been many iterations following on from there. And what most other companies have done is they've actually created a clone of the Tokyo Marui system. So it's pretty widely known that if you've got, for example, because we are talking Glock pattern, if you've got something like this, something like an AAP-01, that actually uses a Glock pattern magazine, you can get this Glock magazine from your AAP and you can put it into your WE and it'll work. Or you could put it into your Tokyo Marui and it'll still work. But are you getting the best efficiency, and have you made the most of the system that you're using? Now, this is something which, like when you come from like the teching community and you're used to like drilling down and looking at the finer details of your gun, then there are certain things that you may notice about how the gun is set up, which will lead to either better or worse performance. And what a lot of this is actually to do with, it's to do with matching the gun and the magazine, which may seem a bit odd because, obviously when you buy a gun, you're going to get a magazine with it and that will be correctly suited for the particular gun that you're buying. So for example, with this WE Glock 18, I got a magazine with this gun and it's always been the magazine that has worked best with this gun. I can use other magazines from other manufacturers, but I tend to get diminished performance. Now, by way of an example, here I've got two Tokyo Marui spec magazines. You can tell because I put purple rubbers on both of them. And I also have this one, which is I think this is a WE. Yep, it is. This is a WE one. But it is essentially identical to the one that you get from your AAP. And these have got a fundamental difference to the Tokyo Marui ones. That fundamental difference is to do with the shape of the nozzle entrance just here. So that is where the gas is going to be fired into the system. On this AAP, and similarly with this WE Glock 18, when I hold both of these up, you should notice that where the gas actually enters the system, despite the fact that the holes are clearly a different size and a different shape, they're both flat routers. So this hole here is completely flat, and again on this one here, that hole there is completely flat. Now if you look at the WE and the AAP magazines, you'll note that the routers on there are perfectly flat. Now what that does is, it's pretty obvious, it means that you get a really good gas seal created, and it means that the gun is going to be performing or functioning at the intended level. It's going to be working correctly. You'll notice that if we were to have a look at something like the Tokyo Marui that I've got in front of me, just take the slide off this. Here you will notice there is actually a curve. So it's a curved nozzle that we've got on here. Well, when you have a look at and this is the same whether you've got a purple rubber or not, but you'll notice there's actually a curve to it. What that does again is it makes sure that you get that really good gas seal, and it kind of sits there like that. You're going to get a really good gas seal, you're going to get better consistency, you're going to get a better blowback, and you're ultimately going to get more functionality and the proper functionality from your gun. So you may be thinking, like, what do you mean the functionality? Well, I'm talking about things like, if not enough gas is getting into the system, then the slide will half cycle and it probably won't lock back on the last round. Things like that I'm talking about. So let's just grab a Glock magazine, and this is a Tokyo Marui one. We're going to put it in this Tokyo Marui Glock and we're going to see what the performance is like. So should we lock back? Great, yeah, performs absolutely as I would expect. Now let's try with the flat router in the WE magazine. So now my thumb is not on the catch. So I'm not actually getting the slide locking back. So I don't have full functionality on this anymore, but I'm still able to get shots. It will still feed, but the recoil is not as strong and it's not as crisp anymore. Okay, let's move on to the WE, and let me just grab another Tokyo Marui magazine and let's see how well it functions. Now, with something like a Glock 18, it does have full auto function. So so there we go. We do have the slide lock that is actually working on this intermittently, not ideal. But let's flip this onto full auto and let's just see what this does. WE gun, Tokyo Marui magazine, a mismatch of the nozzle and router. Okay, it works again. You know, it works in a pinch. Not great, not terrible. Now let's try with the actual WE magazine that is intended for this gun. Yeah, that's what's supposed to happen. And let's do it again. Let's look at it in the AAP. So again, which magazine? Let's just pick another Tokyo Marui magazine in an AAP. So again, this is going to be a mismatched nozzle and router. So that's what we're getting there. Not much recoil, not much hand feel. Feels kind of a bit lackluster. Now let's try just the WE magazine. So this is an Action Army, this is a WE mag, but the router and the nozzle match. Let's try this. That's better. It's kind of hard to tell, obviously, over a video, but certainly, like, I can feel that more in my hand. There's more gas getting through the system, and I can feel it. I can feel more gas in the system. So, to anyone that's gone out there and maybe you've upgraded your gun, or you might have had a broken nozzle and you've replaced it at some point, did you ever have a look and make sure that the mags that you're using, do the routers match up with the nozzle that you're using? Because that's going to be one of the fastest ways to bleed efficiency out of the system is by mismatching. If you manage to match them, what you're doing is you're going to maximize the amount of gas efficiency going through your system. Ultimately, it's going to lead to, you know, more trigger time, as I said, more consistency, better recoil, a better overall experience, and that's kind of like how your gun was supposed to be used. So I've had it in the past where, yeah, I've taken my WE Glock 18 out, I've had my WE magazine, and I've had a couple of TM mags that I've taken out as well, just to use. Whenever I swap over to those TM mags, oh god, the performance is lackluster. You know, it's just, what's going on? Actually, if I'd either replaced the routers, which can be literally done by pressing out one pin, if you're going to replace the routers, or at least just make sure that I picked up magazines, because I do have a few WE and a few sort of, you know, flat router magazines. It'd just be to make sure that you're picking up the magazines that are going to work best with that particular gun. And as I said, you know, you might have upgraded it over the years, so you might have gone from having a flat nozzle to having a curved nozzle, and that actually may mean that, you know, you've done an upgrade and all of a sudden your gun isn't performing as well as it used to, and you're scratching your head as to why that might be. Well, yeah, it's just making sure that you've got that match, and you're not just going to bleed gas out of the system unnecessarily. So hopefully this has been useful for at least someone. Yeah, go and have a look. Have a look at, you know, what shape your nozzle is, and have a look at the routers on your magazines. And if any of them don't match, then look to make them match. You know, see what you can do. You may have to buy another router, or it may just be that that's a magazine that has been in your general circulation, but actually you just need to put it to one side because it just doesn't work with the gun that you're using at the moment. It's all about finding those little efficiencies where you can, guys. So hopefully this has helped someone, as I said. I'm waffling on now, so thanks for spending your time with me. I really appreciate it. And until the next time, guys, take care.